our esteemed speaker, Mr. Surya, a renowned film historian of Odisha, who will be delivering a talk on the evolution of Odia cinema, which include the challenges, milestones, and the transformations. His insights will take us through the journey of Odia cinema, highlighting its growth, struggle, and the changing landscape over the decade. The session will be chaired by Dr. Ajit Kumar Mishra, Department of Humanistic Studies, IIT BHU, and will be reported by our reporter, Mr. Nimai Viswabhushan Behera. Now, I would like all the guests to come to the dais. Thank you, sir. Mishra, member of Kavi Samrat Upendra Bhanjo Odia Chair, to introduce our esteemed speaker, Mr. Surya. Sir, over to you.
A very good afternoon and welcome to the afternoon siesta session. I hope nobody will take me seriously on siesta. So, uh, when we were trying to decide upon how we're going to put the diversity of Orisian culture, it came to my mind that we very often not talk about the Odia cinema, which really holds the heartthrob of the Odia people. It's actually deep rooted into the Odishan culture, both in the state of psychological situations as well as socio-philosophical situation. So we thought that why not include a film critic, curator and historian in that panel so that we can learn something about what has been going since a long time in Odisha. So here we are, and we have Sri Surya with us. He is a noted Odia cine journalist from Sonpur, and he has dedicated over 3 decades to study, critique and documentation of Odia cinema. With the postgraduate degrees in journalism and mass communication, as well as Odia, he has his contributions span journalism research, film society activism, preservation, and curatorial projects. A passionate advocate for film restoration, Dev has played a key role in tracking, digitizing, and archiving nearly 30 lost Odia films, ensuring their preservation for future generation. His literary contributions include several acclaimed books on Odia cinema and film music. Notably, Kalipai Kaliro Cinema 2020, which received recognition at the 68th National Film Awards and Odia State Film Awards. His Odia Cinema Gita series remained the first comprehensive compilation of Odia film songs. Dev has published extensively on Odia cinema's thematic evolution and was awarded a research fellowship by the National Film Archive of India. As a curator, he has organized several exhibitions showcasing Odisha's cinematic history, including poster and photography that displays the prestigious events like Bistro Odia Sammelani and Katak Balijatra in 2024. Currently based in Bhubaneswar, he continues his work as a journalist, researcher, film historian, curator, actively preserving and promoting Odia cinema's legacy. His unwavering dedication ensures that Odisha's rich cinematic heritage remains celebrated and studies for generations to come. So, this is a brief introduction about Surya Dev sir. But besides it, we wanted a lot of things to do, but we couldn't achieve it. we wanted, basically me and Surya Babu, we wanted that there should be some old Odia posters to be displayed here, but because of the last 2 days holidays, we couldn't make it possible. But we'll try to put them up in the screen while he will be delivering his lecture. So with these words, may I request Surya to please come and deliver his lecture. Thank you.
Namaskar. Subha Paranna. Before we start, let's go to that era when the first Hindi talkie released in the year 1913. From 1913, as you all know, from 1913 to 1933, there was a long gap. And in 1933, we got the first talkie, that is Alambara. But in between Alambara and Raja Harishchandra, the first talkie, there were several changes in Indian cinema, and the major input was by a person who brought background music to Indian cinema. And it will be delighted to know that man is from Cuttack. He is Himanshu Roy. Himanshu Roy is the pioneer of, he established the film company Bombay Talkies, married to Devika Rani, and his father, Hemendranath Rai, was a manager to Vishwaguru Rabindranath Tagore Pandua Zamidari, and they were staying in the Tagore house. Himanshu Roy studied at Cuttack. Later he went to Santiniketan to join Brahmacharya Srama, that was called Pathshala. And this is the first contribution of a Odia fellow, I will say, to Indian cinema. Then we came to Sita Vivaha in the year 1936. It's a long journey, of course. It's a long journey of around 90 years. We started the first journey from 1936, 28 April. 1936 at Puri Talkies. And from since then, we're going to complete 90 years in the coming 28 April. And today is 1st April. It's my honor, it's a pleasure to be here to discuss about the Odia film, challenges, milestone and transformation. But before that, quickly we'll have a look on a 10 minutes documentary and we'll discuss. Let's go to the documentary. Let's dim the light so that we can watch the documentary. It's around 10 minutes an Odia movie. Of course it's in Odia, but Odia re thile majra kiछि English subtitles अछि jaha apne buchi pari oli bhabuchi. Let's watch that movie. It's an endless journey. The title of the movie is Endless Journey. We can sit here. We can sit here. Yeah, we.
ओडिया सिनेमा सीता विवाह स्थानित एही बंदनार आरंभ होईछि ओडिया छायाछबिर जातक 1936 मसीह भाषा भित्तिरे गठन हेला स्वतंत्र उत्कल प्रदेश धर्म और मनोरंजन भित्तिरे सही वर्ष एप्रिल 28 तारिख रे आरंभ हेला ओडिया सिनेमार शेषहीन यात्रार प्रथम नाविक मोहन सुंदर देवगोस्वामी प्रथम स्तबक सीता विवाह सीता विवाह पर ललिता 12 वर्ष विरति पर घन बंधुर पथे पुणी यात्रा आरंभ है तापरे 1950 रे श्री जगन्नाथ सही वर्ष प्रेम कहानी आधारित रोल्स टू 8 पर्दा को आसिला एवं यह थिला प्रथम ओडिया सामाजिक सिनेमा परे परे 60 दशक पर्यंत आसिला सप्तसज्जा आमरी गाँ झियो केदार गौरी भाई भाई माँ ओ महालक्ष्मी पूजा आ मजार सिनेमा दुनिया रे लागिगला नुआ रंग खेलीगला चोरा सुरभि 1936 रु 61 पर्यंत ओडिया सिनेमा सूत्रपात्र अध्याय काली फिल्म्स, ग्रेट ईस्टर्न मूवीटोन, रूप भारती, राधा पिक्चर्स, दलित जातिसंघ, चित्रम, उत्कल चलचित्र प्रतिष्ठान, पंचसखा पिक्चर्स पर्दारे लिखिछन्ति सरस चलमान छवि। 1961 दस्यु रत्नाकर आंशिक रंग लगे प्रथम आंशिक रंगीन सिनेमारू आरंभ हुए ओडिया सिनेमार द्वितीय पर्व। ओडिया परंपरा, साहित्य और लोकगीतर प्रयोग अधिक हुए। छाया और माया निशारे घारी हो जाती ओडिया दर्शक। जीवन जमुना रे जुवर उठे रे। अमड़ा बाट, अभिनेत्री का भाई भाउज, अदिन मेघ परी सिनेमा से ओडिया साहित्य साधना और लक्ष्मी आसे बंगला साहित्य। ओडिया उपन्यास मलाजन्न और माटीर मनीषर सिने रूपांतर द्वारा वास्तववादी सिनेमार अंकुरोद्गम हुए। आउ किए कहार परी सफल व्यावसायिक सिनेमा मन आकाश रे गुड़ी उड़ाई थी। छायावाणी प्रतिष्ठान गौर पार्वती घोषंक भिन्न भिन्न प्रयोजना संस्था और पंचसखा पिक्चर्स अधिकांश सिनेमा निर्माण करते। ओडिया चरित्र चित्रण और दृश्य ग्रहण रे प्रामाणिक शैलीर व्यवहार हुए। महानगरीय जीवन शैली को नहीं निर्माण हुए समय और सामाजिक आस्था को नहीं जाजागर। ओडिया सिनेमा निज द्वितीय पर्व रे क्षुद्र शिल्पर मान्यता पाए। 1970 सिनेमा हॉल निर्माण मध्य क्षुद्र शिल्प पर्यायभुक्त हुए। 1973 प्रथम करी प्रमोदकर मुक्त हुए राज्य स्वास्थ्य और परिवार कल्याण विभाग प्रयोजित संसार। 1976 आसे ओडिया सिनेमार नवनिर्माण पर्व। कला धଳାରୁ संपूर्ण रंगीन हो जाए आम सिनेमा। गप हेले भी सतरु आरंभ हुए रंगीन सोपान। मसला धर्मी मनोरंजन सह संपृक्त हुए नुआ नुआ टेक्निक। संयुक्त हुअन्ति तालीम प्राप्त ओडिया कुशली टेक्नीशियन। आरंभ हुए ओडिया निर्देशकंक जय यात्रा। 1980 सिनेमा निर्माण को संपूर्ण शिल्पर मान्यता मिली। 1976 रु 1988 यह अध्याय रे वैषयिक दृष्टि उन्नत हुए ओडिया सिनेमा। प्रथम सिनेमा स्कोप हिसाब निकास। यहाँ परे आहुरी अनेक हिसाब निकास और फर्मुलार सुना सवारी ओडिया सिनेमार रूपा सगड़ी सवार हुअन्ति। केवल गीताभिनय को नहीं सिनेमा निर्माण दुस्साहस मध्य ए अध्याय होइछे। श्रीकृष्णंकर रासलीला और बसंत रास। 70 दशक आरंभ में भारतीय चलचित्र प्रेक्षापटरे आरंभ होइतिला न्यू वेव सिनेमार धारा।
तुम्हें जाना ना एक गारी में तीन
से प्रभाव क्रमे 80 दशक आरंभ में ओडिया रे निर्माण हैला सीताराती।
आउ और कथा कोन किछि बुझिला
मु कोन बससी चारिएडे आके बोलू।
सेबेठारो ବାସ୍ତବବାଦର ସ୍ପର୍ଶ ନେଇ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ପର୍ଦ୍ଦାକୁ ଆସିଲା ଅନେକ ଜାତୀୟ ଆନ୍ତର୍ଜାତୀୟ ସମ୍ମାନ ଓ ପୁରସ୍କାର ପ୍ରାପ୍ତ ସିନେମା।
एथर भोट्रे मु ठिया
ଜାଣିଛ ଆଜି ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କ ଘର ଭିତରକୁ ଗଲି କ'ଣ ଦେଖିଲି 80 ବର୍ଷର ବୁଢ଼ୀ।
ଅନ୍ଧାର ନଥିଲେ ଆଲୋକ ନାହିଁ ରେ, ଅନ୍ଧାର ନଥିଲେ ଆଲୋକ ନାହିଁ ରେ।
ଲୋକମାନେ ମାଗୁଣି ଶଗଡ଼ରେ ବସିବା ପାଇଁ ହମ୍ପ ହମ୍ପ ହଉଥିଲେ, ସେମାନେ ଆଜି ସେ ବସ୍ ପଛରେ ପାଗଳ ହେଇଯାଇଛି।
ତମେ ତମ କର୍ମ କର, ସବୁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଛାଡ଼ି ଦିଅ।
ତମେ ଆମ ସ୍କୁଲ ଦେଖିଛ?
ମୁଁ ତ ସେଇଠିକି ଯାଉଛି।
ଆଏ ଜମା ନୁହେଁ, ଜମା ନୁହେଁ।
କାହିଁକି କାହିଁକି?
ଏବେ ସେଠି ବଡ ବଡ ରାକ୍ଷସ ବୁଲୁଥିବେ।
ଆଚ୍ଛା,
ତମକୁ ଏକୁଟିଆ ଦେଖିଲେ ଖାଇଯିବେ ଯେ।
ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସମାନ୍ତର ସିନେମା ପ୍ରକ୍ରିୟା ସହିତ 1998ରେ ଯୋଡ଼ି ହେଲା ପ୍ରଥମ ସମ୍ବଲପୁରୀ ସିନେମା କୁମାର ପିକ୍ଚର୍ସର ଭୁକା। 90 ଦଶକ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମା ଇତିହାସର ଜଟିଳ କାଳଖଣ୍ଡ। ନିର୍ମାଣ ସଂଖ୍ୟା ବଢ଼ିଛି, ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଓ ବ୍ୟବସାୟ ବଢ଼ିଛି। ସିନେମା ଶିକ୍ଷା ପ୍ରସାର ପାଇଁ 1998ରେ ବିଜୁ ପଟ୍ଟନାୟକ ଚଳଚ୍ଚିତ୍ର ଓ ଟେଲିଭିଜନ ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠାନ ସ୍ଥାପିତ ହୋଇଛି। ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠାନର ସଂଖ୍ୟାଧିକ ଶିକ୍ଷାର୍ଥୀ ସିନେମା ଶିଳ୍ପ ସହ ସମ୍ପୃକ୍ତ ହୋଇଛନ୍ତି। ଏହି କାଳଖଣ୍ଡରେ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଦର୍ଶକଙ୍କ ରୁଚି ମଧ୍ୟ ବଦଳିଛି। ଅଣ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଅଭିନେତା ଅଭିନେତ୍ରୀ ଆସିଲେ, ନିର୍ମାଣ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ବଢ଼ିଲା। ମସଲା ଧର୍ମୀ ଲାର୍ଜର ଟୁ ଲାଇଫ୍ ହୋଇ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମା ନିର୍ମାଣ ହେଉଥିବା ବେଳେ ଆସିଲା ମହାବାତ୍ୟା। ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମାର ମେରୁଦଣ୍ଡ ଭାଙ୍ଗିଗଲା, ନିର୍ମାଣ ମନ୍ଥର ହେଲା। ତାପରେ ନୂତନ ସହସ୍ରାବ୍ଦୀରେ ପୁଣି ଅଣ୍ଟା ଭିଡ଼ି ଠିଆ ହେଲା ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମା।
इलेक्शन कहकिने मत चमकेब ना। इलेक्शन भी काका करे, सिलेक्शन भी काका करे, तुम जानिछ।
ଏହି ପର୍ବରେ କାହାଣୀ ଓ ପରିଚର୍ଚ୍ଚାରେ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ଆସିଲା। ସେଲୁଲଏଡ୍ରୁ ଡିଜିଟାଲକୁ ରୂପାନ୍ତରଣ ଓ ଦକ୍ଷିଣ ଭାରତୀୟ ଛାଞ୍ଚ ଭିତରେ ଅଧିକାଂଶ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମା ବନ୍ଦୀ ଥିବା ବେଳେ ଆସିଲା ମହାମାରୀ କରୋନା। ନିର୍ମାଣ ପ୍ରାୟତଃ ବନ୍ଦ ହୋଇଗଲା। କରୋନା ପରେ ଏବେ ପୁଣି ଦମ୍ଭ ଧରିଛି ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମା। ପୁଣି ଆସିଛି କାହାଣୀ ଓ ପରିଚର୍ଚ୍ଚାରେ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ। ଓଡ଼ିଆ ଭାବକୁ ନେଇ ଗମ୍ଭୀର ବାସ୍ତବବାଦ ପର୍ଦ୍ଦାରେ ପୁଣି ନୂଆ କରି ଖେଳିଛି। ଦମନ ହେଉ କି ପ୍ରତୀକ୍ଷା, ଆସ୍ଥା ଓ ମନୋରଞ୍ଜନର ଶେଷହୀନ ସିନେମା ଯାତ୍ରାରେ ଯୋଡ଼ି ହୋଇଛି ନୂଆ ଆଶା।
ଅନେକ କଥା ନ କହିଲେ କେମିତି ହବ?
ନିଜେ ଜାଣି ତ ମୁଁ କଣଟା ସେୟାର କରିବି?
But to me, I divided Odia films into 3 parts actually. From 1936 to 1950, Vivaha 1936, Lalita 1948, and Sri Jagannath 1950. Sri Jagannath, the first film that was being made through crowdfunding. 10 rupees share was being drawn from market, and from that only the whole movie was produced. In 1950, the first movie came, as you saw that the first movie came, it is Rolls to 8. From 1950 to 1970 rather, there was a conjunction, there was a adaptation from Odia literature to Odia film, and in that issues Amada Bhatta, Matira Manisam, Adina Ka, that was released. In the mid of 70s, new technology came to Odia films. And before that, we were moving to Calcutta for all our post-production work. From Jajapura and somewhere, we went to Bombay for that. In 80s, there was a great revolution in Odia film. অদ্ভুত কথা হচ্ছে জগন্নাথଙ୍କ ନାଁକୁ ବ୍ୟବହାର କରାଗଲା ଏବଂ ଚମକପ୍ରଦ ଢଙ୍ଗରେ ବ୍ୟବହାର କରାଗଲା to incorporate Jagannath, the Lord of the Universe in Odia film, and that whole credit goes to the company जोटी ମୁଁ ଥିଲି, Eastern Media Films Division, and that was ଆସୁଛି ବଗାଳି ଆସୁନା ଚକା ଆଖି ସବୁ ଦେଖୁଛି ପୁଅ ମୋର କଳା ଠାକୁର. So a changes came into Odia film that from social narratives, the myth, the spiritualism came to Odia films, and for that all credit I must say goes to Eastern Media Films Division. Anyway, and in 80s there was a great changes as you saw the new wave film नब्बे तरंग सिनेमा जहाँ को हम ओडिया रे कहूँ new wave films came to Odia cinema. Sitarati, Ma America, and more that Ma Golden Circle, blah blah blah. But moreover, what happened in the year 1977? Quickly I will stop. A new policy came in Andhra Pradesh. At the time, N.T. Ramarao was the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. He declared a policy. Whatever film and whatever post-production work will be done at our new studio, Sarda Studio or something like that at Hyderabad, there will be a concession of around 75,000 rupees. And 75,000 rupees was a great amount at the time. So, some of the Telugu producers, some of the Tamil producers, they lost to Odisha. And they produced what? They produced Punarmidano. That was again a remake of Choti Behan. And interestingly, in Punarmidano, if you say, Bhaiya mere Rakhi ke bandhan ko nibhana, in Odia you will hear the song Bhaina Bhaina Bada Bhaina. There it Mahmood sing that Riksha wala mein riksha wala. In Odia you will listen Muhammad Sikandar Ala Mu riksha wala. So the frame to frame copy paste film started from Punarmidano, and then Enwe Kahani, Chilimilli, Kodo Chandrama, Parivar, a long list of course. But finally they went out. Finally, the production houses of Andhra Pradesh, they didn't produce film in Odia. Then again, era came. Again, what happened in 90s? I'm talking about the copy paste film. In 90s, that is again a remake started. You know, if Hindi that is better, in Odia that is, can anybody say? Santana. In Hindi, if that is Khun Bhari Mang, in Odia, Nari bhi pindhi pare rakta sindura. Very interesting. So we actually, to me, what's the regional film is? I quote Satyajit Ray. Satyajit Ray thare kahile je cinema ko mute karte jo, you mute the film and watch the film. Tapare jodi apon kahi dei parle, yes, after muting the film, if you watch the film and if you can say, yes, this is a Bengali film, this is a Gujarati film, or this is a Marathi film, then seita hochi prantiyata. Seita hochi Odia to jodi ame dekhiba Odia cinema ra seita. What I believe, the Jajpur pakhar gote choto ga Guhalipur dhara jo, ere gote jhiyo kandile jo luho bahare, America ra Michigan sahar re bhi jodi gote jhiyo kandibo, same tears will come up, same thing, same emotion. But the difference hochi amoro tulasi chora, amoro ambo tota, amoro pindhaoda, amoro khaiba piba, Michigan na nahi. So that is the difference of a regional film. You will watch the regionality in that film. Jodi Odia cinema re Odia to nahi tale Odia cinema no. Let me set you an example for that. Very famous film Matira Manisha that was produced in the year 1967. ଏବଂ ଆପଣମାନେ ଜାଣନ୍ତି ଯେ ମାଟିର ମଣିଷ କାଳିନ୍ଦୀ ପାଣିରେ ଲେଖା सेठी प्रोटागनिस्ट वाज छकड़ी बरजुआ नेत्रमणि मत कहतु ओडिया एथि कौचे बुझे को सुविधा हम मत कहतु कौ ओडिया घरे से समय 150 आग को भाई बहु जाऊला से समय कथा कहूँ जिते माटी मଣିଷ लिखाई जिते माटी मଣିଷ चित्रायित होता नाला बट इन माटी मଣିଷ विल सी Sujata Anand Netramani is coming regularly in front of, and she is not coming regularly, she is talking to Sarat Pujari Chokadi. से पे हला ने मन मन अछि तले सेते बडे खबर कागज रे बाहरला जे तले मुडान सेन सिनेमाटे करी कि बाहर को आस्थले रवि टॉकीज रे पते सेटा क्षमा करबे हिन टॉकीज के प्रभात रे पते से रिलीज हितला रवि बाहरला बड को जे मास्टर बनिया थिले मास्टर बनिया इज अ ग्रेट एक्टर मास्टर रामचंद्र मणिया से मुलाल सेन को कहले मुलाल बाबू कौ ओडिया घरे चौठी राति रे प्रधान घर झीटे मुंडर ओढ़ना टेकी दिए एक कथा इंग्राजी रे कहले तो बुझा पड़ो ना चुप कौ ओडिया घरे 150 आउ दियर 150 आउ स्वामी जदि नड़ा छपर करूचंती सेपटे भाई बहु नड़ा छपर बा नड़ा फिंगिबा आड़े टाही टापरा करथाए इंगित दौथाए मुरान चुप एणु से जिते ओडिया सिनेमारू ओडियात्व कमी कमी गला ओडियात्व कहले एया मु बुझे आमर पिंधाड़ा बिकॉज आई डू बिलीव दैट यू नो फिल्म इज अ history you can watch the history if you watch the film of 1960s like Sri Loknath आपण से समय ओडिशा को देखिबे से समय पिंधावड़ा देखिबे से समय गाँ गंडा देखिबे से समय घर द्वार देखिबे एवं से समय केमिति कथा कहउथले भी देख जेहेतु मो विश्वास कर जे मो जो ढंगर कथा कहे मो बाबा से ढंगर कथा कहंती नाही मो जेजमा भी से ढंगर कथा कहउनथले मो पुओ तो आहुरी से ढंगर कथा कहे नाही एणु समय अनुसार कथा कहबार ढंग भी बदले और जहाँ आम कहू सिंटेक्स तार भी बदले तो कथा कहबार ढंग ओडिया सिनेमा परंपरा केमती थिला आम परंपरा केमती थिला सीटा आपण सेठी ही देखि परिबे आ सेठी जदि तेलुगु तमिल प्रवेश बहुत बेसी रहिला बा सेठी हिंदी रो प्रवेश बहुत बेसी रहिला ताल तो ओडिया सिनेमा ही नो दुखर कथा होची जे we have lost around it's a matter of sorrow actually we have lost around 40% of our film heritage 40 भाग सिनेमा को आम साइती रखी पारी ना हो we have lost सीता विवाह we have lost first social movie rules to it of 50s we have lost Amari Ganchua we have lost Kedar Guri we have lost Bhai Bhai we have lost Puja of 80s Mamata we have lost Sindhura Bindu पत्तिकर बहुत लंबा तालिका केते कहबे आम ओडिया माने चमत्कार भाव में गढ़ी दे जाणु चमत्कार भाव में गढ़ू आम चमत्कार भाव कोणार्क भी गढ़ी देलु किंतु कोणार्क को साइती रखी पारलु नाही ओडिया सिनेमा परिप्रेक्षी में वर्तमान आम अनेक नाही नाही रहछु वी डोंट हैव ए म्यूजियम वी डोंट हैव ए फिल्म आर्काइव्स केवल मन अच्छी सिनेमा देखिबार कागज टुकुराट भी बेले खोजिले मिले नाही एवं सिनेमा सांबादिकता तो कथा तो आहुरी सांघातिक अवस्था अपन आश्चर्य हे जे वी स्टार्टेड फिल्म जर्नलिज्म आ फिल्म जर्नल फ्रॉम द ईयर 1951 सिने ओडिशा तापर बहुत पत्रिका बाहरला एवं बाहरिला मरिगला मन पड़छ 1986 रे प्रथम थर पे ओडिया सिनेमा पत्रिका को ओडिया सिनेमा सांबादिकता को मर्यादा देवा सिने संवाद बाहरला ईस्टर्न वेस्ट डिविजन रो अन्यतम पत्रिका जो बहुत पॉपुलर है एवं मु आज सिनेमा फेटर्निटी तरफ एवं सिनेमा सांबादिकता तरफ जेहेतु सुजोग आसी कृतज्ञता जणाइबा चाहूँगी सौम्य सर को मुझे पत्रिका सह एक संपुक्त भी थी एवं से पत्रिकार जी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन काम हो रिव्यूज कौन है कौ सिनेमा आसला गला से भिन्न कथा किंतु जी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन काम से डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पाई कि सिनेमा बची जाइए छवि बची जाइए व्यावसायिकता दायरे कौन है से भिन्न कथा किंतु जी भी है चमत्कार ढंगर है एणु मोटामोटी ये अवस्था ओडिया सिनेमार कहले बहुत लंबा कथा हम दीर्घ कथा हम जदि किसी प्रश्न था पचारि पारती
cinema and new wave cinema.
No, it's almost the same. It's parallel cinema and new wave cinema is almost the same actually. It was being created by as Philly said. I think Bugman is the pioneer of parallel cinema actually, and the moreover, the definition of parallel film is to come to the closer come to the reality, because what we see in the big screen film, we search where is entertainment is, कोट अच्छे आमोद कोट अच्छे हास्य, but in parallel cinema आपण जीवन प्रति केते पाखापाखि आपण निज मोह प्रति केते पाखापाखि आपण निज प्रति केते पाखापाखि जीवन को देखिबा एवं जीवन को जानिबा एवं से ढंगरे सब जेकोसी गतानुगतिक परंपरा रो नव्यतरंग सिनेमा पैरेलल सिनेमा बा समांतर सिनेमा पूर्व जहाँ होता आम से आमोद को खोजुले किंतु भुवन सोम रो मृणाल सेन जो ढंगटी प्रस्तुत कले भारतीय सिनेमा जे सब परंपरा को भांगिले आम गोटे कमर्शियल सिनेमा गोटे कजन इफेक्ट बोली कथा थाए यही कजन इफेक्ट कथा हूँ जे घटनाटे घटिले तार प्रतिध्वनि आर घटना गोटे पड़ो पाखापाखि जो घटना आसो ता सामने जो घटना आसो पूर्व घटनार प्रतिध्वनि तापर पड़ो कि मृणाल सेन भांगिले एवं ओडिया रे ताकू दी जन भांगिले मनमोहन महापात्र नीरद महापात्र चमत्कार ढंगरे ओडिया कहानी को नहीं ओडिया निसंगता को नहीं एवं ओडिया 51 परिवार कथा को नहीं सिनेमार व्याकरण भांगिले जो मैंने देखी थे माया मेरिग से कहीपर शीतर से शीतर किसी क्लिप्स आप देखिले से परवर्त सभार बहुत जन आसिले हिमांशु कोटुआ आसिले परवर्त सभार प्रफुल्ल महांती आसिले सुशांत मिश्र आसिले सुभाष दास आसिले गौरीशंकर दास आसिले मलय राय आसिले एवं एबे एबे जहाँ होची एबे एबे वास्तववाद को नहीं जो परीक्षा चली से परीक्षार दुईट उदाहरण कथा ये डॉक्यूमेंट्री अच्छी देखिले आपन को प्रतीक्षा एवं दमन प्रतीक्षा रे अनुभव पट्टनायक चमत्कार भाव काम कर प्रतीक्षा एथिपाई एक एक्सपेरिमेंटल फिल्म बोली मुझे तार प्रति फ्रेम इज डिफरेंट साधारण देखा हुए जे भारतीय सिनेमा हो जेकोसी भारतीय सिनेमा आप उठे नियंतु देखा हुए जदि जड़े कहीं आईसीयू भितर अच्छी एवं सामने गोटे स्टूल बा बेंच पकईकि तार पत्नी बा तार कहीं परिवार कहीं जड़े से बस जो फ्रेम टी एस्टाब्लीश होची से फ्रेम टी सब सिनेमा पाखापाखि सेटा दिल अपना और प्रीत बराई भी थिला एवं एवेका जो सिनेमा उठे नहीं जातु शाहरुख खान सिनेमा से भी थिला किंतु एठी जो ढंगर प्रस्तुत करा जायछि प्रतीक्षा जो फ्रेमिंग करा जायछि दैट फ्रेम इज क्वाइट डिफरेंट एवं फ्रेम रे भी गोटे ओडिया आखिटे जहाँ देखिबो गोटे पंजाबी आखि से देखिबो नहीं गोटे ओडिया विधवा जमती देखा हबो जड़े मराठी विधवा सेमती देखा हबो नहीं कि आम ओडिया माने जमती चालू मराठी माने सेमती चलती नहीं तेणु से न्याय रे से सूत्र रे ओडिया निर्देशक जो ढंगरे देखब सिनेमा आउ कौन कि आपण निर्देशकर आखिरे निर्देशकर लेंस रे आपण देखिबे साहित्य और सिनेमा भितर सी फरक कहा हुए जे साहित्य पढ़िला बेले आपण निजे निजे चित्रटी तैयारी करेंगे निज मन में छकड़ी केमती दुसुला बरजु केमती दुसुला आप निजे कहे कि सिनेमा देखला बेले निर्देशक जहाँ आपन को देखते आप देखा बाध्य से मर्म निर्देशकटे जो ढंगरे देखेब ओडिया निर्देशकटे ओडिया ढंगरे जमती देखेब ता अनुभव पट्टनायक कर आउ किछि यस प्लीज
सर नमस्कार मु सुनील महानन संबलपुर घर मोर किस यूनिवर्सिटी रे असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर भाव में अच्छी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट आम मुवी देखु छुआटे बेलू रविवार दिन आम सब दिन बसी जाऊँ जिते बेले ओडिया मुवी दूरदर्शन आम देखुलु किंतु से टाइम रो मुवी ओडिया मूवी आ एबेकार ओडिया मूवी भितर बहुत पार्थक्य तार म्यूजिक कहू कि तार स्टोरी लाइन उपरे कहू कि जहाँ भी जिनस ता भितर एतिकी विविधता कहीं आउ 2 नंबर कथा जे आम आंचलिक भाषा मान को लेकिन कहीं मूवी कलानी ओडिया मूवी ओडिशा तो आंचलिक भाषा बहुत सारा अच्छी जमी आप गोटे भूखा मूवी कहले भूखा मूवी से समय नेशनल अवार्ड पाइला बोधे सर
नहीं पाई नथला सर भूखा पाई नथला नेशनल अवार्ड भूखा केवल स्पेन रो गोटे फिल्म फेस्टिवल रे स्पेशल मेंशन पाइला भूखा नेशनल अवार्ड पाई नथला
सेथिरे जो कलाकार थिले साधु मेहे से जने एनएसडीएम से नेशनल अवार्ड
साधु बाबू एनएसडी पढ़ नथिले साधु बाबू फिल्म्स इंस्टीट्यूट रे पढ़िथिले एवं पुणे रे पढ़ुथिले एवं साधु बाबू साधु मेहर जहाँ करिसथि साधु बाबू से दीटा छोट उदाहरण देबी एवं बाकी प्रश्न उत्तर दूची आपण ओडिया सिनेमा अभिमान देखिथिबे होते देखि भी नथिबे अभिमान इज लॉस्ट अभिमान मिलु नाही कोठी अभिमान रे गोटे गीत थिला चुपी चुपी गोरी काने कहि जाए बहुरे लंबा गीत पाखापाखि 10 मिनिट गीत 10 मिनिट गीत भितर जहाँ पूर्वर कहते जे ओडिया घर बाहाघर जमी हुए बंगाली बाहाघर सेमती हुए केवे भी ओडिया बाहाघर रे बर जमी आसे ताकू जमी बंदापना करा जाए सेठू झील विदा हवा पर्यंत सबू ढंग से ओडिया बाहाघर कथाटी चुपी चुपी गोरी काने कही जाए मोहर थिला ओडिया बाहाघर गीत क्रम से सबुठ लंबा गीत से विभूषण पुष्पे जाकांति जान भी थिला बୈଦେଶ विलास साधु बाबूंकर विशेषत्व यह जे ओडिया परंपरा को से खंजती एवं आर उदाहरणटी है अभिलाष चलचित्र अभिलाष चलचित्र जो मैंने दमन देखी दमन मूल कहानी हूँ अभिलाष सेठी भी डाक्तरटे गाँव को जाए गाँव में सेवा शुश्रूषा करने चाहे किंतु गाँ गंडगोल भितर मारी दि जाए से मरी जाए से चरित्र में उत्तम महांती आसते जहाँ निकट परलोक से मरीगला पर नायक ओडिया घरे जेमिति 10 तुठ काम करा जाए केमिति कुकई बंधा जाए केमिति सप परा जाए केमिति नड़िया क्षमा करेंगे कदली गछ को बंधा जाए ताको से बांधि देले गोटे गीत पूरा ओडिया 10 तुठ काम को देखाई गीतटी आसुरे अंधार ए चाउरे अंधार आसुरे आलु भिकारी बड़कर स्वर थिला सी हेले सतुबेर ओडिया परंपरा को जी सिनेमा खंजे तो अपरिचिता हो कि अभिमान हो कि अभिलाष हो कि गोपर बढ़ी कलाकर्ण हो जे जो ढंग से कर ओडिया परंपरा को आउ कहीं करना एवं द्वितीय कथा हूँ सिनेमाटे बदले कहीं गोटे छोट गप था इंग्राजी गपटी हूँ या यू लिव ए मेन इन ए रूम एंड कम आफ्टर years why after years come after the next moment you will not find the same man again but you leave a furniture at a room and come after moments you will find the furniture the same condition because man is a river constantly flowing it is impossible to meet the same man again and again सेमती सिनेमा भी गोटे नई जमी बांक निए मोड़ निए धारा बदलाए सिनेमा भी बदलाए और सिनेमा बदल को बाध्य एपाई बाध्य जे आम जीवन शैली जहाँ आम जो जो शैली जीवन टी जीव से जीवन टी प्रतिफलित हवा दरकार सिनेमा जेहेतु आमर जीवन शैली बदलुची एवं जिते जीवन शैली मंथर थिला से सिनेमा भी मंथर थिला आम जीवन शैली तीव्र है सिनेमार गति भी तीव्र है तो आम समाज को लेकिन आम जीवन शैली को लेकिन सिनेमा बदलिया को बाध्य ना तो सिनेमा ही नुह आम कन्स्टेंटली से गोटे जगह रही जदि आपड़ ए वर्ष गुरुदत्तर 100तम जन्म शतवार्षिकी आप प्यासा देखिए बा कागज के फूल देखिए चमत्कार लगे किंतु प्यासा के कागज फूल चित्रांकन शैली जहाँ जीवन को आंकिबार जो ढंग से अच्छी से जीवन वर्तमान जीवन में नहीं एणु सिनेमा भी बदलिया को बाध्य जेहेतु आम जीवन बदली से बर्बर जदि से पुणी मूल कथा को धरवा आम ओडिया मान जीवन शैली बदली आम ओडिया मैंने आउ धोती पिंधु ना ओडिया मैंने शुद्ध ओडिया भी कहूना किंतु यह भितर भी हुए तो मार्गशीर मास गुरुवार रे घर सामने गोबर पानी रे गोबर पानी लिपिकी चिता बा मुरुज पका हो किंतु ଜରି ଛାପା ମୁରୁଜ ତ ପକା ହେଉଛି ସେ ଜରି ଛାପା ମୁରୁଜକୁ ବି ଦେଖାଯାଇପାରେ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମାରେ କାରଣ ଯେହେତୁ ଜୀବନ ବଦଳୁଛି ସମାଜ ବଦଳୁଛି ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମା ପାଇଁ ବଦଳିବାକୁ ବାଧ୍ୟ ଆଉ ବାକି ପ୍ରାନ୍ତୀୟ ଭାଷାର କଥା ସେ କହୁଥିଲେ ପ୍ରାନ୍ତୀୟ ଭାଷାରେ ବହୁତ ଆଞ୍ଚଳିକ ଭାଷା କଥା ସମ୍ବଲପୁରୀ ଭାଷା ବୋଧେ କହୁଥିଲେ ସେଥିରେ ସିନେମା ହେଇଛି ସବ୍ୟସାଚୀ ମହାପାତ୍ର କରିଛନ୍ତି ଟ୍ରାଇଲୋଜି କରିଛନ୍ତି ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମାର 3ଟି ସିନେମାକୁ ନେଇକି ସେ ଟ୍ରାଇଲୋଜି କରିଥିଲେ ଶଳାବଳା ବଦଲା ଏବଂ ଅନ୍ୟାନ୍ୟ ଆଦିମ ବିଚାର ଏବଂ ଅନ୍ୟାନ୍ୟ ଏବଂ ଅନ୍ୟ ଭାଷାରେ ବି ସାନ୍ତାଳୀ ଭାଷାରେ ବି ସିନେମା ହେଲାଣି ତେଣୁ ପ୍ରାନ୍ତୀୟ ଭାଷାରେ ସିନେମା ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ବି ହେଉଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ମଝିରେ ଯେଉଁ ମୋଡ଼ ଥିଲା ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମା ଯେଉଁ କପି ପେଷ୍ଟର ଜମାନା ଭିତରେ ଆମେ ସେଠୁ ଟିକେ ଓହରି ଆସୁଛୁ ଏବେ ଓହରି ଆସିକି ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଏବେ ମୁଁ ନିକଟରେ ଗୋଟେ ସିନେମା ଦେଖିଲି ପୁଷ୍କରା ଚମତ୍କାର ହେଇଛି ପୁଷ୍କରା ଓଡ଼ିଆ ପୁରୀ ଅଞ୍ଚଳରେ ଯେଉଁ ପରମ୍ପରା ଅଛି ଜଣେ ମରିଗଲା ପରେ ଜଣେ ପୁଷ୍କର ହବ ତାକୁ ନେଇକି ହେଇଥିଲା ଭଲ ହେଇଥିଲା ତ ଓଡ଼ିଶାର ଯେଉଁ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ସ୍ପିୟର ଅଛି ସେଠୁ କାହାଣୀ ତତ୍ତ୍ୱକୁ ନେଇ ସେଠି ଚଳଣିକୁ ନେଇ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ସମ୍ପୃକ୍ତ ନ କରିବା ସିନେମା ତାହେଲେ ତାହା ଓଡ଼ିଆ ସିନେମା ହିଁ ନୁହେଁ ଏନିଥିଙ୍ଗ ମୋର୍ ୟେସ୍ ପ୍ଲିଜ୍
coming years we are finding that there's some OA platforms
yes
like Netflix, Prime. According to you, does these channels are affecting movie industry? The viewership. My question is, viewership is affected by these platforms or not?
ବଡ଼ ପର୍ଦ୍ଦା ଛୋଟ ପର୍ଦ୍ଦା ଯେତେବେଳେ VHSର ଜମାନା ଥିଲା ସେତେବେଳେ କୁହାଗଲା ଯେ VHS ଆସିଗଲାଣି ଲୋକ ଆଉ ବଡ଼ ପର୍ଦ୍ଦାରେ ସିନେମା ଦେଖିବେ ନାହିଁ କିନ୍ତୁ ବଡ଼ ପର୍ଦ୍ଦା ରହିଲା ମୋର ମନେ ପଡ଼ୁଛି ସେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ କଲେଜରେ ଥିଲି ବୋଧେ କି ପାସ୍ କରିଥିଲି ମୋର ମନେ ପଡ଼ୁନି ଠିକ୍ରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦୂରଦର୍ଶନରେ ରଥଯାତ୍ରାର ସିଧା ପ୍ରସାରଣ ହେବା ଯୋଜନା ହେଲା ପଣ୍ଡାମାନେ ଭାରି ପାଟିତୁଣ୍ଡ କହିଲେ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କୁ ତ ଟିଭିରେ ଲୋକ ଦେଖିବେ ଆମକୁ କି ଦେଖିବ କିନ୍ତୁ ଟିଭିରେ ବି ପ୍ରସାରିତ ହେଲା ଏବଂ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥଙ୍କ ରଥଯାତ୍ରାରେ ବେଶ ଭିଡ଼ ହେଲା ତ ବଦଳି ସମୟ ଅନୁସାରେ କୌଣସି ପ୍ରଭାବ ପକାଇବ ନାହିଁ yes
sir I am Rajiv Lochan Tripathi research scholar Department of Philosophy and Religion BHU my question is related to cultural minds and the literatures we have around the world and the music which we compose. So, would you say that there is an essential aspect to the minds of human beings which makes us come together in spite of all the differences that we might be having on the surface level? Like, would you say that there is something essential to the human mind, that there are some common characteristic or some common groundings of a human mind which has evolved over a certain period of time? So that was my question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think I've answered this question before because I said earlier that the emotion is almost the same all over the world, but the locality, jaha prantiyata kohuchu ame, localities differs. And as you said, the connection between literature and film. Look, literature is a different medium and film is a different medium. It's a completely different medium. And whenever somebody tried, and many people tried to combine both, but in maximum number of cases, they are failed. Even if in Hindi, even if in Odia. In Hindi, what's that movie of Saraj? Devdas. Devdas has been made so many times. But Shah Rukh Khan Devdas was a flop one. It didn't gain the commercialism. Dilip Kumar Devdas gained the commercialism. And in Odia to accept, Kaveri, Ka and Hakim Babu and Amala Bhatta. None other film except this literature gained commercialism. It's very difficult, because in literature you have your own perception. Hirote kemti chalibo, hirote kon pindhibo, reader thinks about it. But in film, this is the lens of the director. Through the lens, you watch the movie. That is the whole difference between literature and film, and that's why it is called that film is really written for that. Anything more? Yes, please.
Deepak Kumar Prusti, political science honors. So my question
I think you should ask questions in English because we have got a lot many people without Odia language. Please. And I would request the audience to please put the questions in English.
So now it's become a recent trend that Odia movie are following the other movies and dubbing those movies. So earlier we also followed this same thing, like in many movies and maybe many songs we copy and saw it in our Odia movies. And isn't it okay that to revive our Odia movie we can follow other movies to dub it, like dubbing it and to remake those movies just to revive our Odia movies? बिकॉज ऐसा एक ज़माना था कि पहले भी ये सब चारे से कॉपी हो रहा था, लेकिन तभी हमें पता नहीं चल रहा था, इसलिए क्योंकि आज के ज़माने में जो सोशल मीडिया और फिर जो डिस्कशन हो रहा है तभी ये सब नहीं हो रहा था. पहले के एंशिएंट टाइम रियल टाइम में ये सब हो रहा था कॉपी, लेकिन अभी लोगों को पता चल रहा है, इसलिए लोगों को प्रोटेस्ट कर रहा है कि ओडिया मूवी क्यों कॉपी किया जा रहा है. तो एटलीस्ट एक टाइम पे ओडिया मूवी को एटलीस्ट मतलब बचा के रखने के लिए क्या ये सही नहीं है कि हम जो भी हिंदी मूवीज़ है या फिर अलग लैंग्वेज की मूवी है उसको कॉपी करके या फिर डबिंग करके ओडिया में प्ले करें?
Those days are gone. Let me give you an example. There is a film in Hindi and in a famous TV serial, Ramayana, and in Odia also there is a Ramayana. But in Odia Ramayana, what we look, will look the Odiyatva. Odiyatva jaho कहते ना, the sense of Odia. सीटा में देखो. That is important. That is important because Ramayana or Mahabharata has been written in many languages. Even Sarala Das also he wrote in Odia too. Amongst the colleagues, but Teli Joko Baha Kordale, Yudhishthira Sakandale. No concept. And also there is no problem in it. The problem is whenever Apurna Sethi Odia Toko Puro Nahanti, you are not putting the essence of Odiaism in Indian film, in Odia film. That is the whole point. Mojire the copy paste trend was there, and many Tamil film, Telugu film, and larger to life film, they are being transformed to Odia film. And when people started rejecting the film, that days, that era has gone. Nowadays, many serious movies are coming out in Odia film. Anything, please? Any more? Any more? Yeah, but before that, actually there is a plan that will display here some of the very rare and the drawing of Odia films, and all these drawings were published in the different newspapers at the time. This is the first Odia film, and the producer was Priyanath Ganguly Nivedan, and there is a very interesting story behind it. Priyanath Ganguly was the owner of Kali Films. Before that, Priyanath Ganguly was a part of Maidan Group of production, and Maidan Group was from Calcutta. Maidan Group is the founder of the first theatre hall in India. Mohan Sundar Dev Goswami was from Puri, and before this, he has never seen any of the film. He has not seen any film in his life before this. Very interesting. Since Priyanath Ganguly was a disciple to Mohan Sundar Dev Goswami, and Mohan Sundar Dev Goswami was a Kanna Guru, in that connection, this film came to Odisha. And interestingly, Mohan Sundar Dev Goswami was a traditional theatre artist. Rasa Leela Koruthile. Se hi kale Sita Vivaha. 1936, April 28, the first Odia film came to screen after the release of India's first talkie Alam Mera after 5 years. Alam Mera came in 1931 and this came in 1936. Next one, please. Suryamukhi. That's a very interesting story of Suryamukhi that Lata Mangeshkar sang her first Odia song, Say Chuna Chuna Tara Phule Aji Suryamukhi. And can anybody name who is she? Can I give a clue? Can anybody name who is she? The clue is she is a very prominent Odissi dancer. No. Yes, Minati Misra. It's a debutant film, Suryamukhi. And Suryamukhi was, again, it was inspired by a Hindi film, Ek Hi Rasta of 1951. And the same story. But since there was some Odia essence were there, it has been called the nice Odia movie. Santanu Mahapatra debutant movie. He was a great composer. Next one. Abhinetri. Can anybody say what's the original novel of Abhinetri? And who wrote Abhinetri? This is the transformation of a great novel by Kamnucharan. Kamnucharan Mahanti wrote Abhinetri. And in this film, Jharana Das, the great actress, she was in double role, and that was the first double role of an actress in Odia film. The most famous song, Koinchi Kakudi Nalita Pita.
Nowhere it is written Kanucharam.
Yeah, nowhere it is written. But in Ka you will see, Parvati Ghosh was the great lady. In Ka you will see the name of Kanucharan. Here it is not written. Next please. Yeah, this is Matra Odisha. There is a very interesting story about Odisha. When there was agitation in Odisha that Matra Odisha chalna nahi bhalo. This gentleman, Chabani Pratishthan, Babulal Doshi, went to Mrinal Sen and requested him to change the last person of the film and let's go with the novel, he suggested. Mrinal Sen said, no, once I met means I met. I'm not going to change just a bit of cinema. If you are going to change, you can change. But don't put my name or my crew member name in the film. And that happened. Babulal Doshi changed the script, reshooted something, again rearranged the film, re-released the film, and in the re-release of that film, Mrinal Sen's name was nowhere. This film was supposed to be, sorry? Sri Kumar's name was Bhubaneswar Misra. Since Bhubaneswar Misra was, he was working in All India Radio, and at the time, it was very difficult that a government employee actually he can't deploy himself to cinema or something else. So he put Sri Kumar. And before this Sri Kumar and Balakrishna Das, I mean Bhubaneswar Misra and Balakrishna Das, they as a duo they composed two films. That is Amariga Jho and Bhai Bhai in the name of Bhuvan Kishan. So the Sedu's name came from Bhuvan Kishan. And Nitay Palit and Manoranjan Das, the great dramatist, they came in duo in Amariga Jho in 1954. Next. Yeah. This is a very interesting poster since you can see Tinniya Antarjatika Chalachitra Utsavare Pradarshita. This is the first Odia film. It was screened in Indian Panorama in the year 1965 and
Lyricist's name is not there.
No, it was not coming actually. It was not coming. Maximum lyricist's name was coming in the record only. It was not coming in the poster. In late 80s, it was coming in the poster, but in 50s, 60s, it was not coming. It was not coming. Yeah, the last one, what Guru Bhai was intending to say. Kamnu Charan Koka. It was not Parvati Ghosh Koka. भाई भाउज एटा देखिबार उद्देश्य होचे जे बंगाळार केते बेसी प्रभाव थिला हम ओडिया सिनेमा पर स्टोरी इट्स अ फिल्म ऑफ 1965 प्रभाव टी एथि पई कहूची प्लीज प्रभाव टी एथि पई कहूची जे भाई भाउजर फॉन्ट को आपण देखंतु अक्षर सज्जा को देखंतु द फॉन्ट अरेंजमेंट ऑफ भाई भाउज इट्स ऑलमोस्ट लाइक बेंगल. So with this, let me conclude, and after that there is film screening of Sunanda based on Sunanda Patnaik. Sunanda Patnaik से दिक्कत ओडिया रे थई कहूची जे विश्व हिंदू विश्वविद्यालय जहाँ कूल गीत थिला जहाँ को ओमकारनाथ ठाकुर तो कंपोज करथिले सॉरी no compose करथिले कूल गीत no but I mean who composed the song, who composed the music yeah, I'm talking about the music composition. Sunanda Patnaik is a disciple of Omkarnath Thakur and Sunanda Patnaik are basically 8 पे এই ডকুমেন্টারিটা আমি পাচ্ছিল যেটা হচ্ছে নীলমাধব এবং নীলমাধব is the raga. That raga was invented by Sunanda Patnaik. एथिपई आ गोटे भी डॉक्यूमेंट्री पाछिलो एथिपई जे एथि संकट मोचन हनुमान का मंदिर रे शूट हेची फिल्म and this was a film produced in the year 2012 and it won national award as the best documentary of that year. Mr. Dilip Patnaik, who is no more, he was the director of the film and by watching the film you'll feel what's the magic of music, what is the music of Sunanda Patnaik. With this, thank you, thanks a lot. Namaskar.
Join us in the audience because we are going to. This session is not complete. Let me tell you, this is a session which continues into a documentary presentation. So, following the documentary presentation, we'll get them back to the stage and then wind up the session. So, I'll request you to please join us in the audience. I will, and I'm sure that you'll enjoy looking at this documentary, which is just about 59 minutes long. And it's a very well documented, has been awarded by the Film Division of India. It's prepared by Film Division of India and has got the national award. So this is one of the finest things that we thought we should share with you. So I think.
from ancient time. Our forefathers, they created 7 type of sound. Teach about 7 type of sound. And what is that 7 type? Sa re ga ma pa dha ni. With that limited combination of sound, our forefathers started composing them in order to make different sound effect. Sa ga ma, sa re ga. Within those 7 notes only, they created different type of sound effect, which were known as Raga Bhairav, Bhairavi, Bhupali, Kalyan. And in the course of time, they started to implement same notes. The notes they cannot alter or change or anything. But utterance, the manner you utter, ga. Sunanda Patnaik utters ga. Same sound is there. Effect is different. Ga, sa, ga, sa, ga, sa, same sound. But it appears a little different, isn't it? What is that? Who sings? ଘରକୁ ନେଇକି ଦୁଃଖ କ'ଣ ସୁଖ କ'ଣ ଆରେ ମଣିଷଟା ରହିବେନି ମୁଁ ନିଜେ ଶଳା ଘର ରହିଲେ କେତେ ନ ରହିଲେ କେତେ ୟାର କ'ଣ ହେଲେ କେତେ ନହେଲେ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁ କରୁ ଯାହା ହବ ଯାହା ହେଲା I am trying to build up my next generation. If anybody desires or if will of God is there, that power is there. It will be done by somebody, but not by Surya Patnaik, but by some men, by you. Because to open an institute is not a matter of choke. Unless there is a sincere and serious effort behind. I have never broken my promise. I am trying to fulfill it in a different sense and different path and different process. I am coaching in Calcutta instead of Puri.
Odisha.
बुढ़ापा आ गई है अब। I simply liked to sing, and I started singing whatever material I got. And at the age of 11, I got one contract from All India Radio. Material, where is the material? So it was a great problem for me that time. Then I started composing. Fortunately, that time, say somewhere asile, then I heard him singing Darwari Chanda. Gugataka patakol to he Ramamale. And the moment I heard, I thought, this is the music I should sing. And I want to learn. Unless you learn, unless you know the real things, what's the use of only practice? You can just show some magic through your throat. That's all. Music is not that. Music, first muse. first thing. Let it come out from within. For that, you have to mold yourself, prepare yourself. Otherwise you will sing. People will come, they will be very glad. Return home, finished. The next day another music. But I used to remember our ancestors, like my teacher, Dr. Patwardhan, Pandit Uganata, Badila. That lingering effect was something superb, which is never found nowadays. The manner it works inside, that particular musical sound grabs. There is nothing, no juggling, no hodgepodge. But the effect from inside works. That effect is not found now.
प्यारी नवली लाडली राधिके प्यारी नवली लाडली राधिके लाड करी लो ललन सुनत हस लाड करी लो ललन सुनत हस रस की बतिया करता प्यारी प्यारी नवली लाडली राधिके प्यारी नवली लाडली राधिके रहस रहस डोले आंगनवा रहस रहस डोले आंगनवा सांगलिए टोलने पारा प्यारी नारी अचल जौवन अधिका सदा रंगीले अचल जौवन अधिका सदा रंगीले सिद्धि लगा
It's not a matter of 1 day or 2 days or 1 year or 10 years. Go on, go on, go on, go on. Working and working and thinking and thinking. Sometimes you think you yourself get frustrated. Leave it for 3-4 days. When you yourself will feel like a blind man. That should be within you. My duty is
जैसे नयन बहे नीर अलग स्पिरिट थाए गाइबी लोके सुनिबे हैं एबे तो गाइबा को बसला कोन छै गाइबी गाइबे तू सुनु तू तो निजे गाऊ मो गाइबी तो just this feeling comes why should I sing for you why should you sing हैं तमे कहीं गाइबो नहीं बस बस सुनदा मन गीत सुनथो ए कोन या मानेटा कोन बादुरी है ये गाउची जाना स्वामी नाने गावी कदाचित काळंदी तट विपिन संगीत करावा दाभिरे नारी वदन कमला स्वाद मधुपा
सीखी पूछम कटितटे दुकुलं नेत्रान्ते सहचरं कटाक्षं विरहते सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावनवसति लीला परिचयो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवतु मे
महाम्बोधे स्थिरे घनतरुचिरे वसन्तप्रासादान्ते सहज बलभद्रेण वरिणा महाम्बोधे स्थिरे सुभद्रा मध्यस्था सुभद्रा सकल सेवा बसर तो जगन्नाथ स्वामी
আমি ভাবি যে 11 বছর বয়সে দিদি ফার্স্ট গান করেছেন, দি এন্টায়ার ফ্যামিলিকে উনি সাপোর্ট করেছেন। আমরা কি পারতাম? আমরা এত প্যাম্পার্ড, এত সাপোর্টেড এখনও অবধি, তো সেটা আমার কাছে একটা ট্রিমেন্ডাস ইন্সপিরেশন। সেই জন্য আমি মনে করি দিদির 1%, 0.1% যদিও পাই, our life will be made. I get very emotional.
তো একটা রাগ যখন তিনি শুরু করেন, যখন তিনি বলতে শুরু করেন, প্রথম যখন সুরটা লাগাতে শুরু করেন, আস্তে আস্তে সুরের বিস্তারটা শুরু করেন, তখন দেখে মনে হয় যে ঠিক জগৎ ছাড়িয়ে অন্য কোনো একটা জগতের দিকে আস্তে আস্তে চলে যাচ্ছে মানুষ।
দিদি সবটাই হচ্ছে একটা স্পন্টেনিয়াস, মানে তৈরি করা কিছু নয়। আজকে একটা রাগ শেখাচ্ছে, কালকে সেই রাগ থেকেই আরো দুটো বিস্তার বেরোচ্ছে, পরশুদিন আরেকটা বলতান বেরোচ্ছে। সমস্ত জিনিসগুলোর মধ্যে দিয়ে কিন্তু দিদির প্রতিদিন নতুন নতুন ভাবে দিদির সঙ্গীতকে কিন্তু আবিষ্কার করছে।
दानि देव देव ददर दानि दर ददर दानि दानि दी दानि दी दानि देव देव ददर दानि. Now I am in love with him. You throw me inside the jungle, you throw me inside the water, you throw me inside anywhere you like. If my tanpura is there, I am hale and hearty. I am in peace. That's all. I don't want anything. Time came in my life. From the core of my heart, I could realize that the greatest music is silence. Music is with me. Nobody can take out this. Nobody can snatch now. If you like to then only that search starts. And what is that quest? এই সাধু সন্তଙ୍କର ଭାଷାରେ ଗୀତା ଭାଗବତ ମହାଭାରତ ଆଉଡ଼େ 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 ହଜାର ତୁମେ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କର, it never comes. And when it comes from within, you need nobody. You need nobody. Neither devil nor God.
ନନ୍ଦ ପଟ୍ଟନାୟକ ନାଁରେ ଯେଉଁ ଆୱାର୍ଡ଼ଟା ହେଇଛି କେତେ 5 lakhs
No. So after this fantastic presentation of the documentary, I guess a lot has been understood. Two things that caught my sense was, one, the greatest music is silence. And the second is that I was really thrilled with the passion that she carried till this life. Because it's very rare that you find so much of passion infused into the performance, and to the age of say 85. And so this brings me to conclude the session. I'll request the chairman of the session and the speaker to please come up the stage and take your respective seats. So we have with us Professor Ajit Mishra, who is also from our community, but I always am fond of his observations and his keenness in looking at cinema as one of the significant academic outreach and research. So he has been, actually I have interacted with him, and he was also part of one of my other film screening program that was really very interesting, and so I thought it would be really appropriate to bring him back to the stage. So with these words, may I request Professor Ajit Mishra to please come and deliver the chairman's address.
Namaskar and Jai Jagannath. Congratulations to the Odia chair, because every beginning goes to create some ripple effects, and we can already see the ripple effects being done here. As a result of which we can see so many people sitting here, listening to each other, interacting with each other. That's wonderful. This is just a beginning, so it may not be very, very exciting like the beginning of Odia cinema, because Sita Vivaha did not do well commercially. But then, without that beginning, Odia cinema has not been able to, must not have been able to travel that far. So, to talk about Odia cinema is to talk about what is so Odia about it. This is very important. It's a pertinent question. This is exactly what Surya sir, in fact, reflected upon. In fact, whenever we talk about the cinema in any language in the world, we need to understand what is language doing there. It is either Odia cinema or Telugu cinema, or even French cinema. What is so French about French cinema? If it is not there, if it is missing, if it doesn't constitute the soul of that cinema, then it's not doing any good to that particular kind, that particular genre. Cinema, as we all know, that has been one of the biggest contributions of civilization, human civilization. Because it's something that we can easily connect with, and for that we do not need any language. You can recall your interactions with Charlie Chaplin movies. So no language. Laurel Hardy, no language. And our own Indian Pushpak, Kamal Hassan, in the lead. So no language is actually needed. I'm responding to one of my friends' remarks that why not in any other language? Okay, we actually don't need any language to make cinema. That is the power of cinema, because when a writer comes forward and writes a piece of work, a piece of literature, you need just one writer. One writer has the power to create the scenes, the characters, everything, the setting, the tone, the environment, everything. But when you are about to make a film, you need so many people. You cannot even imagine how many hands come together and work together to produce one piece of art, that is cinema. So, of course, we see it through the director's lens, but everyone's eyes are watching us. Sita Vivaha to the next Odia cinema, Lalita and Sri Jagannath.
there was a gap of 12 years. Actually, I was under the impression that there was a gap of 13 years since he's a historian, so very authentic source. 12 years it took because there were no filmmakers. I was discussing on the sidelines of this conclave with Surya sir to know what might have been the reason that there was a gap of 12 years before two other movies back to back, 48 and 49 probably. Yes, 48 and 49 back to back. So, and interestingly enough, how come the land of Jagannath will not start with a film on Jagannath? So it started with Sita Vivaha and then Lalita and Sri Jagannath. So that was how the journey actually started, and thereafter it went on and went ahead. Give me just one moment. I've jotted down a few observations. And then there was of course a challenge for the filmmakers, and as he has very rightly pointed out, it was Babulal Doshi who also instituted the Kala Kendra in Cuttack. Yes, Kala Vikas Kendra in Cuttack. So he was in fact a pioneer behind the making of Odia cinema. So every time you write, anyone who writes the history of Odia cinema will have to go back to Babulal Doshi. If not Goswami, Dev Goswami, at least Babulal Doshi, because he was he was basically a businessman. And he encouraged these jute businessmen to invest on Odia cinema. So that was how it actually gained momentum. And as a result of which cinema derived the much needed flow. But there was a big challenge. Whenever we look at cinema of any community, any society, any country, so we need to look at its aspirations. Every art medium has its aspiration. No literature is written without dream of achieving anything. So what were the aspirations of Odia cinema? Why was there a need for Odia cinema? Because Odia theatre and Odia drama was doing very, very well. Odia Jatra was doing extremely well. Pala, Daskatiya, the folk art forms, they were doing extremely well. And then what was the need for Odia cinema? Because that was one medium that could easily translate the aspirations of an entire community through a visual medium, and that had the power to connect with the masses. That was one reason why Odia cinema had to reinvent. That's the first phase when Odia cinema had to reinvent itself, especially starting 60s. And starting 60s, you can see there was a flood of films that actually sent to the air romance. So whether it was Amada Bhatta, Malajan and all those films. So there was romance in the air, in fact. And that was also the time when, as he has very rightly pointed out, that was the time when the middle class was brought to the forefront through the intersection of Odia literature and Odia cinema. So a few Odia literary works were adapted into Odia films, because that was how the middle class could be connected with it. Because the middle class was basically, if you look at the history of middle class during 60s in Odisha, it was a highly laid back society, the middle class society. They were very happy with whatever little they had. They were highly laid back. They didn't want to do anything, go that extra mile. Odia cinema during the 60s actually bring them back to the fore of activities in life. So that was how the middle class was promptly connected, and we all know cinema has always been the medium of the middle classes. Without middle class, we cannot imagine cinema. Of course, I can think of parallel cinema, new wave cinema, and a variety of independent cinema made without the help of any studios. But we cannot imagine any cinema without the middle class. So that's the backbone of any cinema. So the middle class was brought to the forefront of Odia cinema in the 60s, and that actually gave it the mainstay. And that's when the momentum was gained. And a lot of experiments were also conducted, and the biggest of these experiments, as you also very rightly pointed out, what made with Matira Manisa, with Mrinal Sen, because Mrinal Sen was a radical thinker. He was already experimenting a lot of things while he was based in Kolkata or Calcutta then. But he was not being that successful, but he still tried to experiment with such reformative approaches. But he failed because the Odia society was not ready to accept this. Now, this can bring a very important question to the mind of especially those people who explore Odia cinema for the sake of academics. Was it also the reason that two very important films that were made around the same time, 67 probably, this Matira Manisa was made in. Two other films that were made around the same time, Amada Bhatta. Amada Bhatta was actually adapted from a novel. 63. It was adapted from a novel. But Amada Bhatta had to recoil. Recoil in the sense that it projects a woman at the center who is educated, who is willing to go that extra mile to achieve something in life, to carve a niche for herself. But then somehow post-marriage, you find two characters in that film. One before her marriage and the other after the marriage. After the marriage, how she actually takes a U-turn and comes back to the same old Odia family system. She becomes a family woman taking care of the family and various. So that was one thing which was not accepted, because that story, although it was not a film, it was basically a story adapted from that novel, that could have done a great thing to Odia cinema. But then I don't know, the conditions were very different, because the Amada Bhatta experiment proved it in the next 2 or 3 years. The second was Mala Janha. Mala Janha was again one such film where the lead female character finally commits suicide, because the society was not ready to accept the reformative attitude of the character. So when you look at how these films, they struggled with the society, with the kind of attitude the Odia society had during then, we can easily decipher something very important, because it was not ready for it. And that's one big reason why the experimental film made by such a great filmmaker like Mrinal Sen did not click. So we have an answer to that question when we go back by a few years to look at Amada Bhatta and Mala Janha. So that's and then you also very rightly pointed out to Hakim Babu, while talking about parallel, while responding to our friend's query about this Hakim Babu. Hakim Babu went on to win the national award. Ajit Das in the lead. Hakim Babu was one such film in which we find a district magistrate, a collector, in the lead. And when that character becomes the district collector, the character is unable to connect with his own people. That's the problem, that's a struggle, that is a conflict in that film. Now, through Hakim Babu, two very important messages were being given. One, if we look at the whole thing through the lens of the collector, who was actually trying to, uplift his own community, and the community was not ready for it. The collector would certainly want the community to come up to a certain level. I'm reminded of a wonderful poem by Alfred Tennyson, a Victorian English poet. He talks about Ulysses. He has written a very short poem, Ulysses. Ulysses is returning from the Battle of Troy, and while returning to his kingdom, on his way, he begins to think about his future. He says, what exactly am I going to do by returning to my kingdom? I have a wife who doesn't have a progressive mind. I have my subjects who do not have a progressive mind. And my son is grown up enough to take care of these subjects. So what I must do, I must go beyond the horizon in search for something new. I must go there. So that's the place, that's the destiny and destination he finds for himself. So similarly, Hakim Babu talks about such a thing, but it did not find an answer because the community was not ready for it. So that's that you, I mean, I can understand there was a paucity of time because of you might have missed. Swapna Sagara and Dora. These two films were made within a gap of 3 or 4 years, back to back, and they were massive hits. Both of them were made by Prashant Nanda. He was the producer, the director, the writer, the lead actor. Now, what's so special about these two movies? When we look at these two movies, both of them implicate themselves with the development discourses that made rounds in Odisha during those times. Those of you who have ever visited, ever gone to Koraput, would know that Koraput was basically dense forest, a huge dense forest cover. Now, that was the time, and Dora has a backdrop. That's Koraput is the backdrop of Dora. Dora talks about how in the name of development discourses, or in the name of development, a certain discourse was making the rounds and deforestation was being justified. So what we get to see in Dora, we have the timber merchants. The timber merchant is played by, this, who's the music director? Swarup Nayak. And Vijay Mohanty. Vijay Mohanty plays the negative role there. So it talks about how deforestation was legitimized through development discourses. That was one. And how timber, they themselves gave a right to take timber from the dense forests of Koraput and sell it either in the urban centers called Bhubaneswar, or Bhubaneswar was coming up at that time. So Bhubaneswar actually needed a lot of timber. So in the name of development discourse, this timber was illegally imported from Koraput. The second was Swapna Sagara. Now that also talks about the exploitation of the Chilika Lake in the name of harnessing salt. So both these films are important milestones in the history of Odia cinema because they, on the surface, they appear to be very commercially viable films, but they actually have very important messages to send across. And of course, to respond to one of the questions raised by our friend Rajiv Lochan Tripathi. Oh yes, fine. So you talked about how, please take your seat. You talked about how, is there some connection between these mines that are located elsewhere or at different places? So how can we connect with the mines located at different places? Of course, he talked about this by citing the example of Satyajit Ray, who said that if a tear is dropped here, the same pain can be felt by somebody else elsewhere. Of course, and then just to add something more to it, if we take the help of neuroscience, in neuroscience, this is called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons. And that is the reason why you might have noticed when women watch tragic scenes in cinema halls, they begin to cry. They know that it is just a piece of cinema. It's not real. Still, they cry. When the hero begins to thrash the villain, why do we clench our fists as if we are thrashing the villain? This happens because of a certain set of neurons that are located here, and they are called mirror neurons. Now, whenever an action that we have always wanted to perform is being performed, the mirror neurons that are located here get activated. And when the mirror neurons are activated, they establish the connection with that. So that is an answer to that query. That was an interesting query. I'm very, very thankful to Surya sir for sharing his insights, and especially I really liked the way he has compiled the posters. They are the gems. They are the precious stones, because we can go on talking about cinema, its history, production history, circulation history, consumption history, the making of the cinema. But then we cannot bring back the posters. Once they are gone, we cannot bring them back. So that's how, I mean, he's done a great job by actually, compiling, by protecting, by preserving Odia cinema, because this is something that we'll never lose contact with, that we'll never lose connection with. So we can always fall back on these masterpieces whenever there is an identity crisis, because identity crisis is something that we can be up for anytime. So whenever there is an identity crisis, these are the cultural products, be it the food that come from Odisha, be it the festivals, the documentary that you had a look at, be it the festivals. These are the things that will always give us the support system. So we can always rediscover ourselves. So that's one big reason. And then there is something else that I wanted to mention here. Odia cinema, if you look at how Odia cinema has shaped itself, it has always tilted towards the genre that we call romancing. Either romance or realities. For example, even in Shravana, you come across these issues. Either romance or realities. There's something that it has not been able to take into account is our connection with health or health care. There are only a few instances where you come across. There's a song, I can't recall the film from which it's Purkina Udigala Bani. Jajavar, yes, right. So you find two young girls, they go for a bath in the river and they are singing a song. It's a tease song, it's a teaser. So we don't often come across such teasers. We can remind of one such teaser in Aparajita Priyadarshini in Jaya, in Puja Pula. Yes, exactly. So there is a mention of iodine in that song. All right. So Pademoro Konta Futigala and something like Rasike Toka Lagaila iodine something. So there's a mention of iodine. So iodine was a very important medicine during that time for all kinds of bruises, injuries, all that. And after that you come back and you find one complete cinema that talks about health, that is Daman. And that's one big reason why it has received so much of acclaim. Otherwise, if you look at Odia cinema, if you look at Hindi cinema, for example, Anand is a classic, Rishikesh Mukherjee, 1971 film. It's a classic because it talks about cancer, Dard Ka Rishta, Sunil Dutt's. So there are so many Hindi films that talk about these issues, health, illness, recovery, medicine, treatment. But you do not generally find Odia cinema that talk about these things. And Daman is the first and the only so far, is the only Odia film that talks about it, and that's one big reason why it has received such acclaim. So when we look at Odia cinema in the coming years, we do look for such important dimensions. And then with that, I'll put an end to my comments. I'm very thankful. I have learned a lot of things from my friend Surya sir, and I'm really thankful to the Odia chair, Kavi Samrat Upendra Bhansha Odia chair, for this opportunity to come here and share my thoughts, my insights with you.